Hi everyone, my name is Duvvuru Sriram, and when I was in IIT, I was known as Duvvuru. Duvvuru was my nickname, and I joined IIT in 1975, so I'm the class of 1980, and I was in the graduated from the Department of Civil Engineering, and I was in Mandakini my first year, and the rest 4 years I'm in Jimina. I was in Jimina Hostel. I'm not sure what my room number is, but around 263 or something like that. Okay. So anyway, actually my journey into IIT started when I was around 14 years old. My mother was very keen that I should get into IIT Madras. And the reason being my mother's brother, that's my maternal uncle, Professor D.V. Reddy, he was a professor of applied mechanics in IIT Madras during the 60s. So I always looked at him as my role model. That's what my mom wanted me to get into IIT. So around in 1975, when I got into IIT, I got into civil engineering. And then my third year, I guess, I got a branch change to electronics. But my father decided that I should get back to civil because he really didn't know much about engineering. We come from a family of doctors. In fact, I don't know whether many of you might have heard of Alexander Fleming, who discovered penicillin. He used to come to my grandfather's house sometimes in the 40s. So we are a family of doctors, but then, except for my uncle, we didn't know. My parents didn't know too much about engineering, but my mother was sure that I should get into IIT Madras. Anyway, that's how I got into civil engineering. But this worked out very well for me in the end. And at IIT Madras, for my bachelor's thesis, I worked on analysis of offshore structures with Professor Swamidas in the ocean engineering department, where we even published a paper, which is not very common for students doing undergraduate degree. So that's kind of a thing that it's a kind of some motivation for being in IIT. And IIT is a great place, as you all know, and you graduated from there, and many of the students who are viewing this all know about what a great place IIT is. I have a lot of fond memories of my time at IIT Madras, and it's one of the best times in my life. So there's some experiences which are kind of in my mind, and I used to also take part in all extracurricular activities, and I was the hostel mess secretary for Jamuna. And one of my goals is to provide the best food available, and I think I succeeded in there. I'm the mess secretary, so I should say that we had the best hostel food. And actually, in one hostel day, that time Professor Indiresan was the director, and our hostel day was supposed to start around 7 o'clock. And if you know Indiresan, he is a very prompt person. So he used to come prompt. He came promptly at the time we asked him to come, but we were not ready at all for the whole show. So he looked around, nothing was ready. So immediately left, said, "Please call me after you guys get your act together." And it was a couple of hours later he came. I was also the class president of the civil engineering batch, and I was very lucky to have an excellent relationship with Professor N.V.C. Swami, I think both Indiresan and N.V.C. Swami are no more, but these were titans at the time. And Professor N.V.C. Swami was very helpful in getting things done. I used to spend a lot of time in the library. That was one of my favorite places. Library was a thing, and I kind of knew almost where every book was at every location. And I used to tell my friends, hey, if you want this particular book, go to this particular location, make a left turn, go about 20 books past, and you'll find the book that you want. So I used to spend a lot of time in the library. In fact, I even wrote an article on library for I think it was called Focus at Campus Times, one of those IIT magazines at that time, because people were kind of stealing books from the library, and we kind of wrote how we can avoid doing that. And I did this with a friend of mine, Ashok Mathur. So again, in the final year, when I was in IIT, I had a palmistry. At the time, we used to have something called Mardi Gras. I think now it's called Sarang. It so happens my son's name is Sarang too. So now I think they call it Sarang. And we had a palmistry stall. It was kind of interesting because I had two other people helping me out. I used to dabble in palmistry and astrology because I wanted to know it's a curiosity, not that belief is different than curiosity. I was very curious about why these things work. So I did some research on that and used to look at a number of hands and used to draw all these charts. So then we decided during Mardi Gras, let's have a stall. So so I got together with two other guys, Ravindra and Titus, and we had the stall. And these two people had no clue about what punctuality was, but then I kind of taught them a few elements of what they should be doing. And I don't know what they did. They impressed a lot of people. In fact, next day, people used to come to their rooms and ask for advice. Even the director's wife, Indresa's wife, visited our stall, and she was very impressed about it. So that's kind of fun, though. So we had a lot of fun in IIT Madras. Yeah, in fact, in terms of the IIT Madras impacting my life, one of the things about IIT Madras is it provides a solid foundation for pursuing any scientific and engineering discipline. In fact, I really loved the 5-year course because the breadth of the courses which was offered during these 5 years and has helped me to make significant contributions in a variety of fields. For example, I have written publications and have been recognized in civil engineering, mechanical engineering, healthcare, and computer science. And how is this possible? And the reason why it's possible is because the IIT Madras provides a solid foundation and the breadth, because you're taking courses in electrical engineering, we had these workshops, which at the time used to complain a lot. But now I think that was a valuable experience of being in these workshops for 2 years. And in fact, I taught at MIT for probably many of your students know when they look at my background that I was a professor at MIT for about 8 years. And I would say that on average, I believe the IIT student is smarter than the MIT student. And although there are outliers, I mean, there are people in MIT who are really sharp too. But I'm just talking about averages around here. And other thing that IIT Madras, I'm really impressed now is that they have these courses such as self-awareness and integral karma. And this is pioneered by one of my batchmates, Devdas Menon, who's now a professor in civil engineering. And so that's some of the things that I would like to say about IIT. In general, IIT provides a strong foundation. Not only that, there's one other thing which IIT provides the kind of friends that you develop there are there forever for you. They're actually more than friends to you. And many of the people, or many of my links, or many of the contacts that I made at IIT are like my brothers, really. Okay, they're like a family. So, and in fact, I've talked to them regularly. We have WhatsApp chat now, and we do a lot of personal discussions and things like that. And also, these people used to kind of help you. And like I was on a personal level, I did my schooling in very small cities in Andhra Pradesh, and my English language skills are not that great. But then these were honed by help rendered by several of my classmates, like for example, Devdas, Ashar, and Achut. They used to kind of help me a lot with these skills. And also the power of collaborative problem solving helped us get through many of these exams. So we used to kind of get together and solve these problems in a very collaborative manner. And a couple of other things that happened at IIT, which I still practice, is that I got initiated into yoga and transcendental meditation. And to this day, I practice these two things every day in the morning. Okay. Again, as I said, the main thing around here is that you form these everlasting bonds with many people, and some of these people have become family to me. And that is the biggest takeaway, I think.